Hey y'all, this is your girl Candace coming at you all the way live from sunny South Florida. And I'm back just in time to do that pantry challenge again. If you recall, over the past 2 years, I've done the Three Rivers Homesteads Pantry Challenge. Jessica over at Three Rivers Homesteads, she holds this pantry challenge every single year. I did it the year before last, and I did it last year. Last year, I failed. It was my second time doing the challenge, and I failed. And I'm going to tell you why. I should have been shocked. The same thing happened when I did NaNoWriMo for the second time. You know how it is. You get a little arrogant. You feel like you know what you're doing. You figure like you got this and you don't like take it as seriously and you don't put your all into it. And that's kind of what happened, with last year's challenge. I kind of failed. I kind of fell off the wagon. I stopped making videos and I realized that I need to be truer to myself. I need to be truer to you all, my viewers, and I need to do this again. So I'm doing the 2026, Rivers Homestead Pantry Challenge. I'm doing it for real. I'm taking it seriously. And here are my rules for this year. Because as you know, if you watched me the past 2 years, you get to set your own rules for this challenge. So basically, I'm going to use what I have, and as usual, I have way too much in my cabinets, in my refrigerator, and those are the two places, my pantry and my refrigerator. I don't have a freezer, like a big freezer on the side. I don't have a garden. I'm not like many other people who are doing the challenge because most of those people have like houses or homesteads. They have gardens. A lot of people who follow Jessica also do canning. So they have like meals already canned or whatever, or ingredients already canned. I don't have that. I'm a city girl. I'm in Miami. And what I have is just what's in my cabinet, what's in my fridge. But it's just me. So I don't need a ton of food to get through the next 2 months. At first, I wondered whether or not I was going to do both months or whether I was just going to do, January. I say we start off with January and see if I'm going to do February. I think I will, but we'll see. And I'm going to set my goals. I have several goals for this month because there's several goals that I have set for 2026. I want to publish some books. I want to get some more book coaching clients. I want to grow my mediation practice and my arbitration practice. I took a job last year and it was good. It was a good job and it was good work, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted to be doing. So at this stage in my career, 30 years in, 32 years in, I want to be able to do work that really fulfills me. And I want to be able to do work that really helps me help others. And what I was doing didn't feel like I was doing that. So I want to grow my business, all my businesses, my mediation and arbitration practice. That's my ADR business and my YouTube channels and my coaching practice. So while I focus on that, I also want to get my health in order. So I have a lot of big goals for this year. And the challenge, believe it or not, is actually going to help me achieve them. I'm not going to be spending tons of money. So that's money I can put into tools that I need for my businesses and things of that nature. I'm not going to be eating food that's outside of my plan. So I'll be able to stay within my calorie deficits and I'll be able to make sure I eat enough protein and that the food I'm eating is healthy and actually sustains me. So there's a lot of good things that a pantry challenge like this can do for you. And plus, I won't be wasting food, right? That was one of the big reasons why I started doing this challenge every single year because I didn't want to have food waste. Food that's becoming freezer burned in my freezer because I'm not using it. Or food that's in my cabinet, getting ready to expire because I'm not using it. And that's just going to waste. Would you believe that I actually did buy another 10-pound bag of organic black beans? Don't ask me. But anyway, at least I know now like how to cook the black beans in my Instant Pot or my slow cooker. So we're actually gonna be eating a lot of black beans during the next few months. Um, and they're fresh. They're not old beans, right? They haven't expired, so they should be easier to cook. But I digress. So the rules I'm setting for this challenge is no more than $100 a month. And I'm setting an arbitrary figure of $100 a month. I don't intend to spend $100 a month on extra food, but just in case I need salad grains, I need milk or something I'm missing to make a recipe that I need, or some crazy sale on something I need to stock up on. Because for example, if there's some crazy sale on like canned milk, evaporated milk, or canned salmon, different things that I love to stock up on, for example, then I'm going to go ahead and do that and not feel too guilty about it. And I just won't touch it for this challenge. I'll just eat what I have, in my pantry already, but I'll put it there and I'll have it afterwards. So That's why I'm giving myself $100 a month for the challenge in terms of spending food. And I'm going to be really strict because that's how I failed last time. I ended up spending more last year, and I'm not doing that this year. And I'm not going to go buy things that I can actually, fix myself. For example, last year I went a little crazy buying myself a whole bunch of plant-based milk. I can tolerate regular milk to a certain degree. So I actually have milk powder in my because I actually bought some things like that over the course of this year. So I actually have cream powder, which I didn't really love, but I have it. And I also have milk powder, like fat-free milk powder, which I can also use for, different things. So instead of me buying, for example, more plant-based milk, unless it's on some kind of killer sale and I want to stock up on it, I'm not going to do that. Right? I have canned milk, I have powdered milk, and I have powdered cream. I have no reason to do that, for example. And so the money's going to be used pretty much for those special things that go on sale that I want to grab, or like fresh things, like salad greens or more collard greens, or I don't know, tomatoes and things of that nature, lemons, because citrus goes on sale during these winter months, lemons, limes, things like that. So, but we'll see. So that's my instant rule, not to shop for things that are outside of those parameters, not to spend more than like $100 on groceries, no matter what they are, each month over the next 2 months. So, and basically no ordering in. I'm gonna save a ton of money just by not ordering in, right? No ordering in. And I'm actually gonna try this year, I didn't do it last year, to make bread that's other than the bagels I make, right? I'm actually gonna try making loaves of bread. This is gonna be fascinating. Because I tried the sourdough mix and it did not work, but I'm gonna try out a new, some no-knead breads, and I'm also gonna try out, like, it's sort of like a sourdough bread, but not using kefir. So I guess you use the kefir, which is sort of like yogurt or the cultures in it, to kind of get the sourdough effect without actually using sourdough. We'll see. So we'll see about that. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to take you into my messy cabinets and into the working area so you can see what I'm working with this year. Let's go check it out. Okay, so first we're going to start off with this messy freezer. And as you can see here, I have stuff in here packed to the rafters as usual. So I basically have a lot of like peas and carrots and frozen vegetables at the top. And then I have a lot of meats on the first row. So you see here everything from like turkey burgers or chicken burgers to like chicken strips to like just various meats that we have in here, bacon and chicken and I don't know, beef. There's some beef here. So I'm pretty much not going to run out of meat. It's just me during this month. And then we have here a whole bunch of like fruits and vegetables. So I see more fruits than vegetables, and I haven't been using up all my fruits for like smoothies. So I have the bananas that are frozen and things of that nature, berries. There's some frozen spinach, from some frozen bread, a few pieces here and there. And I have to use all this stuff up because I've had it for a while. And that's putting it mildly and gently. Here I have some peppers that I froze, some more meat. I think this is turkey, ground turkey, and tater tots and things of that nature. And then here I have more vegetables, frozen vegetables. They were on sale, so I bought a lot of them. And luckily I have them. And then in this crazy drawer, which you are now used to seeing, I have all kinds of stuff ranging from different meats to like frozen banana and things of that nature. So I'll be eating, and sausages. So one of the things that's gonna be my goal is to use up everything that's in this crazy bin. Then I have like ham and things of that nature, frozen yuca in the door, and I have more of frozen broths, chicken broths that I've made out of the rotisserie chicken. And up here I have some more nuts to go into my granola and some more of the cashew nut sauce, which I can defrost and use for my breakfast burritos. But in addition to the meats, I also have like beans and things in my cabinet that I need to use, which are also protein adjacent. So I have a lot of plant-based types of protein that I need to use up, which would include like this bag of green lentils. And I didn't learn my lesson last time. I went and bought another 10-pound bag of black beans, which I am determined to make a hole in because these expire, I think, in 2027. So I got to make some serious progress on them over the next month. I have also, protein for powder for my, smoothies and things of that nature. And I also like to put protein powder in my protein snacks, like my granola. I have mung beans that I've never even touched that I want to use. I have these mean split peas. These are all like high protein beans. So they give you, a good amount of protein per serving. I think this one is like 11 grams per serving. And this one is 8 grams per serving, sort of like the black bean, which is also 8 grams per serving. The green lentils give you more, well, a little bit more, 9 grams per serving. So when you combine these proteins with other protein, you really get a good amount of protein. So that's a good thing. Or if you eat more than one serving of them, obviously. Here I have organic textured TVP, which is textured vegetable protein. It's sort of like a mince. It's a dry mince that you can actually make feel like hamburger meat or something like that. You can season it up however you like. But this is pretty high in protein, and this will give you 8 grams of protein for only 45 calories. And that's only a quarter cup. So imagine if you used, more of it. You put it into a chili, for example, where you have beans. Then you have protein from the beans, protein from the TVP, and maybe proteins from other things like protein pasta, which is another source I have, protein pasta. And this is not all the protein pasta I have, but this is a representative sample. So, obviously protein pasta is another plant-based version of protein, and I have it in the spaghetti and the calentani or celentani shapes. I also have more of this in my cabinet. And then there are things that are going to be expiring that I definitely need to use. For example, this almond flour, I need to use it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I probably need to get a little bit more because that's probably not enough to make a dish, but we'll see. So we have heavy cream powder, which I bought and can't stand, but I'm going to give it another chance because it's expiring soon or it's already expired. Oh, no, it's expiring soon. And I don't want to waste money. So this is heavy cream powder. I found out that I actually just like the milk powder. It actually does a better job, but I'm going to try it again and try to make heavy cream out of it. And I'm actually going to follow the instructions. Can you imagine? Anyway, so nutritional yeast flakes. Some people don't like this. Some people think it's, shouldn't be fortified or whatever. Bottom line is 8 grams of protein for 60 calories and 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons can add 8 grams of protein to your meal. Now, you can use this as a condiment. You can use this, for sauces like I do, like the vegan cheese sauce that I make has like half a cup of this in there. You can put it in your tofu omelets or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of ways, and this adds more protein. So how vegans do it is that they combine proteins, right? You may have a chili with beans in it, and you may have with those beans some TVP, or you may have a little bit of pasta to go with your beans, or you may have just 3 different types of beans and you're eating a lot of them. So you do things to combine your protein so that you get enough, basically. And here, this is an easy way. It tastes like cheese. You sprinkle it, it gets the seasoning taste or whatever. 2 tablespoons will give you 8 additional grams of protein in your meal. Since we only need 30, that's damn near a third. So, this is not to be sneezed at. And it helps to make amazing sauces and things of that nature. All right. And having protein pasta is better than having regular pasta, right? With protein pasta, you not only get the protein, but you also get fiber because a lot of these tend to be bean based or whole grain based. So fiber is a really important part of the diet. I know I preach protein, but beans have a lot of fiber. And that's one of the reasons why you definitely want to incorporate them along with veggies into your diet. All right. And then I have things like coconut flour, this big old bag. It's either expired or it's going to expire soon. And I've had it for a while. So what I need to do is actually use it. What a concept. So I'm going to go ahead and use this coconut flour. And I'm going to find some recipes to use. And I know there's coconut flour in desserts, there's coconut flour in pancakes, and things of that nature. So I shouldn't be suffering while I'm eating coconut flour. All right. And then there's this big old bag of quinoa that I have not even opened. And quinoa is a better grain for you than rice in the sense that it's a whole grain and they have more protein. Now, I know some people say quinoa is high in protein. Not really. It's about 6 grams per 160 calorie. So it's more, rice tends to be like 3 or 4, if that, or whatever. But if I cook it in, say I'm not doing the vegan thing, and I make the quinoa in broth, bone broth, then I have a high protein, you know, uh, side or accompaniment. And say I made this in bone broth with beans. Then I have a really high protein, side dish or whatever that I'm putting together. And there are different ways you can make it. You can make Mexican quinoa. You can make any type of flavorings that you like to accompany your dishes. You would need less meat, right? So you could eat more quinoa and less meat if you do it correctly, if you fix it correctly and make it high protein. So this is one way to do it. And you can add protein to your rice and protein to your other sides by adding bone broth, for example. But if you're vegan, obviously you're not going to do that. So just having quinoa instead of rice if you're vegan raises the protein level of your meal. Obviously adding beans to it raise the protein level to your meal. And you can do different things with tofu or other things if you want. Okay. And then the almond flour, I just told you I have to use that up. And I have this oat fiber, which I don't know why I bought it, but I got to use this up too. Okay. Actually, I think it's inspired, so I think I might just toss this, but we'll have to see. Okay. And then obviously I have, my whole wheat flour. This is the kind I like to get, Bob's Red Mill Stone Ground whole wheat organic flour. No flour is great for you, but if you're going to have flour, having it with a protein to carb ratio of 4 or 5, obviously that's really good in your flour, which actually helps too. So, and it's much better than regular white flour. But I also need to use up things like this flapjack mix, right? I have this cognac mix, and I have a lot of it actually, where I need to use it up. I not only have that, but I also have, this. So I have all this Kodiak mix that I need to use up. So I see pancakes in my future. And actually I want to find a way to do sheet pan pancakes because I'm extra lazy. Kodiak has more protein in their mix than say regular flour, but I'm gonna find ways to add even additional protein so it can be a high protein, high fiber meal. So we'll see how I do that. All right. Luckily for me, my cabinets are looking a little bit less psychotic this year. And if you think this is messy, you should have seen it last year. But I have here obviously a lot of things like tuna fish. I have canned chicken. You can't see it here, but it's in my bottom cabinet. I have beans over here, and I have different types of beans: canned black beans, canned pinto beans, some cannellini beans, more carbate DM pasta, which is actually another high carb pasta. That's which is good. And then I have here dark red kidney beans. I have salmon. I have mackerel. I have sauces like Old El Paso enchilada sauce, green and red. Some rice or whatever that I don't have that I can microwave and things of that nature. So, and actually a few of these ooh, bone broths. So I have that here too. So the cabinets are full of all kinds of goodies. Green tea, Quaker oats, and actually, I have organic oats in that Quaker oats box, but yeah, so I have because I have a big old bag of oats or whatever. So I have that. I have canned milk for when I run out of creamer, baking powder, all kinds of sauces like red sauce. I have that peanut butter powder in the back. So I have the means, hibiscus tea, some raisins for my granola. So I have the means to actually make quite a few dishes. I'm definitely not gonna go hungry during this month. Here I have some tomato sauce, tomato paste or whatever, other, other types of sauces, whatever, seasonings. I have ghee, oils, things of that nature. So that's all in here, seasonings. And then peanut popcorn so I won't get bored. Cornstarch, all kinds of madness in here. So basically we're good to go in terms of what have you. I might get a few more cans of tomatoes because I'm running low. So I have like tomato sauce and diced tomatoes, but I want to make sure I have a few more and they're on sale. So I might actually pick up like 4 more cans or whatever of that. But in terms of sauces, I don't really think I need to do anything. and I'm really set for nutritional use, so we're good to go on that. My spice cabinet has not improved. As you can see here, it is, like, ridiculously full. So, my goal is gonna be to try to work through some of these spices so that, I can start fresh for 2026, to work through some of these. Some of these have had a long time, and I'm gonna try to use those spices that I haven't used in a long time. I mean, there's some things that I use a lot of, and you can tell because 'cause they're big, like the adobo, like the Old Bay, like the turmeric. I made a good dent in the turmeric, but I've had that for a while. So, yeah, like the onion powder, you can see I use those a lot, the garlic powder, the Kinder's roasted wood fire garlic, I use that a lot, and that's why I don't have as much, left or whatever. I put a good dent in it, so we'll see. All right. All right, so if you enjoyed this video and you want to go on this challenge with me, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. Hit that bell so you can get notifications when I put down new videos. I'll be putting out cooking videos over the next few days. And come along on this journey with me. I mean, if I can do it and I'm in an apartment, I don't have a garden, I don't have a big pantry, I don't have chests or freezers or whatever, you can too, right? You can do something like this if you want to have a pantry challenge and use what you already have. Even if you're not doing a challenge, that can actually help you save money when you go shopping at the supermarket, right? Using what you have first or factoring in what you already have first. And I'll be giving out, quick tips and stuff like that on how to save money, on how to use what you have, on different dishes that you can make, on how to make high protein meals and things of that nature. So come along with me and I'll see you in the next video.